In contemporary cinema, the line between hero and villain is becoming increasingly blurred. Rather than presenting antagonists as purely evil, modern storytelling often explores their psychology, motivations, and internal conflicts. A strong example of this shift can be seen in Loki within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Originally introduced as a villain, Loki evolves into a morally complex character whose journey challenges traditional ideas of good and evil. This documentary will explore how Loki's character develops across multiple films and a television series, and why this evolution has been so effective in engaging audiences. Loki's early portrayal, particularly in the Avengers, aligns closely with conventional villain archetypes. He is presented as power driven, manipulative, and willing to cause destruction in order to achieve control. However, unlike one dimensional antagonists, Loki's motivations are rooted in emotional conflict. His sense of inferiority, shaped by his upbringing and his relationship with Thor, introduces themes of identity and rejection. This psychological grounding adds depth to his character, making his actions more understandable even if they are not justified. As a result, audiences are encouraged to view him not just as a threat, but as a character shaped by internal struggle. As the narrative progresses, Loki's character begins to shift in both tone and function. In Thor Ragnarok, his role becomes less antagonistic and more ambiguous. The introduction of humor and self-awareness softens his character, making him more reliable and less defined by villainy. Importantly, this shift reflects a broader change in storytelling, where characters are allowed to evolve rather than remain fixed in a single role. Loki begins to display moments of loyalty and emotional vulnerability, suggesting a movement towards redemption, while still maintaining elements of unpredictability. This balance prevents his development from feeling forced, as he does not completely abandon his original traits. To explore audience perception of Loki's development, I first spoke to a Marvel content creator. From your point of view, how would you describe Loki's role in the MCU, especially like how he changes from a villain to a more complex character?
I think Loki is a really great gauge point. Honestly, even just you asking that question, I'm like, wait, is Loki like the anchor being? Because he really is such a central point to gauge not just how the Avengers have changed, not just how our main characters have changed, but also how the storyline of the MCU is changing. So he's a great focal point of not just good and evil. This isn't black and white. It's a full spectrum of all these things that a person can be. So I think he's a great person to compare and balance other characters to, especially because he is such a consistent person throughout the series. You're really able to gauge other characters' growth off of him as well.
This response highlights the importance of audience engagement in shaping a character's longevity. Loki's humor, charisma, and emotional depth both contribute to his popularity, allowing for audience to form a strong connection with him. This suggests that his continued presence in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is not solely based on narrative necessity, but also on audience demand. This perspective emphasizes how Loki's development reflects wider changes in media and storytelling. The Loki plays a significant role in this. Unlike the films, the series allows for a deeper exploration of Loki's identity, particularly through themes such as free will, purpose, and self-perception. The concept of multiple variants further challenges the idea of a fixed identity, suggesting that Loki is not defined by a single version of himself, but by the choices that he makes. This reinforces his transition from a static villain to a more dynamic and evolving character. Loki's effectiveness lies in his moral ambiguity. He exists between hero and villain, which makes his character more realistic and reflective of human complexity. In conclusion, Loki's character development demonstrates how modern storytelling moves beyond traditional villain roles. Through both audience and critical perspectives, it becomes clear that his success is rooted in psychological depth, narrative evolution, and reliability.